In the heart of the ancient city of London, amidst nameless shadows and rumors of mysterious phenomena, there is one man who chooses to step into the boundary between truth and the unexplainable. He is Dorian Vale, an eccentric detective with extraordinary intellect and an unwavering belief in science. Dorian does not believe in ghosts or demons, but he is the one people turn to when something is beyond explanation. Accompanying him is Lucian Crowe, a doctor, a storyteller, and also a living witness to the supernatural cases that Dorian solves. Lucian is the only one who can see the hidden depths of his friend's soul, serving as the bridge between logical truth and the realms of intuition, instinct, and belief. And this is the first case they embark on together, a case that begins with a smile in the mirror. The girl and the reflection. Only when you look into the mirror and see someone else staring back, that is no longer a reflection, it is a warning. The room was dim, lit only by the faint glow from a small oil lamp placed on a table. The wind howled through the cracks in the window, carrying with it the strange chill of December, though no cold front had been predicted. The girl stood motionless before the mirror, her deep, frantic eyes reflecting panic, not because of the darkness, not because of the wind, but because the image in the ancient mirror was no longer her own. It was smiling. She spun around. No one was behind her. Only the old, moss-covered walls and a half-closed wooden door leading to a long, shadowy hallway. But when she turned back to look at the mirror, the smile was still there. And then, from within the mirror itself, a cold breath fogged up the glass. Words appeared, seemingly written by an invisible hand from the other side. The next one is you. The next day, I, Lucian Crowe, was invited to the Morell estate as a doctor. The girl, Annabelle Morell, was said to be showing signs of madness, according to the family doctor. But I didn't believe that. After a preliminary examination, Annabelle looked at me, whispering, "The one in the mirror is not me, doctor. He is waiting for someone else, and I believe that person is you." I left her room in the middle of the night, my mind in turmoil. Not because of her, but because I saw the words in the mirror when I was alone in the room. The friend in the shadows. Returning from the Morell estate, I went straight to Dorian Vale's loft, which he called the laboratory of the unexplainable. The room was chaos with purpose, books piled up, specimens in glass jars emitting strange lights, and antique machinery clicking rhythmically. Dorian was sitting cross-legged on the table, holding a thick book written in Latin. "Lucian," he didn't look up but spoke as if he had known I would come. "The Annabelle Morell case, right? I saw your gaze outside the door. It was a bit twitchy, the kind of look someone gets after emerging from an obsession." "She's not insane, Dorian," I said quickly, "and neither am I. The mirror wrote those words when I was alone." Dorian closed the book, stepping down from the wooden table like a cat. He moved toward me, his eyes glowing with curiosity. "An old mirror, huh? Ebony frame, Baroque design, silvered surface reflecting pale blue." I nodded, and Dorian smiled. "I've been waiting for that mirror for 3 years. Someone once tried to sell it on the black market, then disappeared." His gaze suddenly became serious. We might not just be dealing with a murder, but a replica of an ancient ritual that was lost. What ritual? A ritual to seal souls through reflection. Silent deaths. 2 days later, news from the Morell estate made me rush back. The longtime maid, Matilda, was found dead in the bathroom, her throat cut with a clean, precise line as if done with a scalpel. The strange part? The bathroom door was locked from the inside. No one went in, no one went out. No cries for help, no blood outside. and the bathroom mirror was covered in a thin mist, though no one had taken a hot bath. Dorian stood in front of the mirror, squinting. "Did you notice, Lucian? The engraving in the corner of the mirror. It's thin, like a thread. Someone used a knife to carve a symbol here." I leaned in, inspecting closely. A strange, swirling character, resembling an infinity symbol but broken at one end. "It's not a symbol I've seen in medical or psychological books," I muttered, "because it doesn't belong to medicine. It's a mark often found in ancient summoning rituals used to invite a reflective entity, also known as the soul reflection." A chill ran down my spine. "You think the maid was killed by something?" Dorian didn't answer right away. He pulled out a tinted glass and looked into the mirror through it. The glass turned purple and a new message appeared on the mirror. "I saw her, now she sees me." Secrets from the past. We left the estate early the next morning, taking a shard of the mirror with the strange symbol and a photo of the image seen through the tinted glass. Dorian took me to the London Institute of Ancient Studies, home to thousands of ancient records and ritual artifacts from the 17th to 19th centuries. "That mirror wasn't just decoration," Dorian said as we entered the archive, where the old yellow light bathed the dusty shelves. "It was once part of a soul reflection ritual, recorded in the chronicles of the Delacroix family." Delacroix, an ancient witch family scattered across Europe, known for rituals that sealed spirits and creating totems capable of reflecting human minds. They were hunted down during the church's purge of heresy. Some objects survived, including mirrors. I looked around, then suddenly stopped in front of a page in a glass case. Under the Gothic script, there was a drawing of a mirror, identical to the one in the Morel estate. Dorian nodded. "The soul mirror, also known as speculum demonis. Legend says that if the soul is weak enough and the fear deep enough, the reflection in the mirror can come to life." I froze. So the words in the mirror weren't created by a person? Dorian was silent, but for the first time since I'd known him, his eyes showed concern. "I think," he said softly, "we are no longer the only ones observing this investigation." Reflections from the past. That night, I couldn't sleep. In a dream, or maybe it wasn't a dream, I stood before a large, foggy, silvered mirror. But instead of reflecting my own image, I saw a boy with vacant eyes and tightly pressed lips. He raised his hand and wrote a message with his breath on the mirror's surface. "I miss Mrs. Matilda." I awoke with a start, sweating and drenched in the bedsheets. In the dim moonlight filtering through the curtains, my mirror reflected my own image. But for a brief moment, I thought I saw someone standing behind me. The next morning, I told Dorian. He didn't laugh. Instead, he took me to a hidden room in the museum where an ancient confession was kept. The confession of a priest who once used the speculum demonis. The record says that each mirror carries a parasite soul. It doesn't harm anyone until the person reflects their own fear. The mirror is just the medium. So the user must have a purpose, or someone knows how to exploit it to sow fear and kill through their own reflection. I suddenly understood. We're not just tracking down a supernatural secret, we're tracking down a murderer, someone who knows this ritual and is using it to kill one by one. Dorian squinted. And he's playing the reflection game with us. The final name. We returned to the Morel estate early the next morning. Annabelle was no longer the frightened girl she once was. She was silent, her eyes sunken, and when she looked into the mirror, she didn't blink. Dorian checked each mirror in the house. In Annabelle's room, under the silver coating, he found a thin thread leading to a tiny air tube hidden behind a wooden wall. Someone is controlling the reflection, using light, cold air, and a special silver coating to create a ghostly effect. But what chilled me was the paper tucked under Annabelle's pillow. It was a list of names of everyone who had lived in the estate, and even the current residents. The last name, written in red ink, Dorian Vale. The reflection game. That night, Dorian told me to leave the estate. He wanted to face the one behind all of this alone. I protested, but his gaze was resolute. If I don't return by dawn, break all the mirrors in the estate. I stood outside, waiting as each minute passed like a sentence. Inside, Dorian set a trap, activating ultraviolet lights, setting up special glasses, and hiding cameras in the corners. At 3 a.m., a shadow appeared in the room. Not a spirit, but a living person. It was Nathaniel Morell, Annabelle's half-brother believed to have died abroad years ago. I created the fear in the mirror, so she would go insane and I could inherit the estate, the fortune, and the untold secrets in my ancestors' mirror. Dorian recorded the entire confession, but at that moment, the lights went out. From the darkness, the sound of glass shattering, a scream, and a horrifying noise like fabric tearing, then silence. The mirror no longer speaks. I found Dorian amidst the shattered mirrors, blood on his hands and a piece of charred cloth, the only remaining trace of Nathaniel. Dorian said nothing on the way back. When I asked, he only repeated one sentence. I didn't kill him, the mirror did. The police arrived but found no body, only a faint message written in the broken mirror shard. The last one has reflected themselves. A week later, I returned to Dorian's apartment. The ancient mirror was now covered with a black cloth, placed in the corner of the room. But as I stepped closer, I saw myself in the mirror, standing next to Dorian. But Dorian was making tea behind me. I turned around. No one. And the mirror fogged up again. Slowly, a message appeared. I am still here, and the next one is you. Do you think it's over? The mirror is still there, and it is watching you. Don't forget to subscribe for episode 2, The House Without Doors.